Hello everyone, my name is Clement Akobujo. Welcome to Sayonaj, the place to develop your creative skills in graphic design. In this tutorial video, we'll be learning about the basic tools of the Pixellab application on Android devices and how they function. We are also going to look into how you can use them to create captivating designs for your projects. So here we go. Please note that the Pixellab applications can only be found on the Google Play Store on Android devices. Unfortunately, it is not available on the iPhone and Windows version. So let's go to the Google Play Store and search for Pixellab. Then click on the install button to download and install it on your smartphone. When it's done, click open and voila, you now have Pixellab on your phone and it's ready for use. So what you see on your phone screen now is the Pixellab interface on its default mode. And all the signs you see there are clickable. They are clickable buttons to the tools you can use for your graphic designs. The first button on your right is the plus button, which is also called the project button. When you click on it, it is the shortcut access to imputing text for your designs, the current date, pre-made stickers, emojis you can import and use in your designs. Likewise, the shape link is also available on it. And the form gallery is used to import other materials like pictures, colors, gradients, images into your design. The next is the drawing tool. The last on the trade list is the drawing tool, which can be used to draw images and shapes that are not available on the Pixellab for your design. So let's check them out and see how they work. First, we're going to click on text. The text button gives you access to creating text on your screen, text that you can impute into your graphic design. Whatever you want to write, whatever textable idea you have in your head and you want to put down into your design, you can find here. This is the way you access it. And on the text list, first you will see the edit button that has the sign of a pen. When you click on edit, it opens to the page where you can impute your text. So let's impute the text here. Let's say we impute I am a graphic designer. Once you impute this text, you have an array at the top of the display. The button with the TT signs is used for changing your text into caps locks or to small letters. So when you click on it, you can change it to small letters and you can change it to capital letters depending on what you want to use. Next to it is the delete button, which can be used to delete the text you have, the entire text you have on the screen. If you don't want them or if you want to make changes, all you need to do is go back on your keyboard and impute, wipe or impute whatever you want to impute. When you're done and you've imputed your text, or you click OK. When you click OK, it displays on your screen. Now, let's reduce the size of this display so that we can see it all on a straight line. Here it is. I am a graphic designer. Next to the edit button is the delete button. If you click on it, it deletes the design. That's basically is what it does. Just like the what we all know, what we are conversant with what the delete button does on systems. The next is copy. This copies the text you have imputed. If you want to make more copies of the text, you hit on copy. You can see that it has created another copy. Now, for instance, if you want to delete this text, all you just need to do is hit the delete button. You click on it and you see it highlights. It has highlights the text. Then you click on it and delete. You click on the delete button and it goes off. The next is to front. The to front is probably you have multiple texts, others one under the other, and you want to bring the one under to the front. Once you hit on it, it brings it to the top. We're going to look into all that when we start our designing. Likewise, the to back. The next is the position button. Maybe you want to move your text to the right, to the left, or you want to move it to the right. You click the second button. You want to move it up, you click the top button, and the down button, you move it, it moves it down. Next on the list is the relative positioning. Let's say you want to centralize your text and probably your text is on one side of the screen. You can send it, maybe you want to take it to the top left. You click on the first button on the top of the array. Once you click, sorry, you want to click it to the right. I mean, you click on the button, it goes to the right. If you click the center button, it aligns it to the center. And then if you click to right, it sends it to the right. You want to take it up. You can take it up. You can bring it down. So let's centralize our text by clicking the middle button, the middle button at the down array. And once you click on it, it comes to the center. You take it to the center and then you align it properly. The next button is the size. This button is used to increase the size of your text. You want to reduce them accordingly to how you want. You can see that the size has a value added to it. When you increase, the value increase, and when you reduce, the value reduce. Once you're done, you can also click on the minus button to reduce this value singularly by maybe you want to make it 55, you just hit it, take it down to 55, or you want to increase it as you want to do. Whatever you want to do with it, however you want to increase the size of your text, this is the part where you do it. Now, next to the size button is the padding. Assuming you want your text to have space to the left side, all you need to do, you increase it, and you see the way it moves. It means on the left side, whatever you type, there's going to be this gap. It's going to be arrayed accordingly to the number of gap you leave. Like if you see the left padding, we increase the value to 84. So it means that part of it will always serve as a margin for the text you impute. Likewise, you can do the same thing for the right. And when you do that, you see your text aligned to the right. The margin aligns to the right. And if you want to reduce it or you want to make it normal, you do the same thing. Next to the padding is the color tool. Now, with this color tool, you can give your text singular colors according to the design you want to make and according to colors. We are going to create another video that explains color patterns and gradients in the course of this tutorial. So how to use the color is if you choose a particular color you want to use. Let's say for this instance, we want to use the navy blue color and we click on it. Once you click on the navy blue, or let's use a color that will be more visible, let's say green. Once you click on it, you see your text change automatically to green. That is what it basically does. There are arrays of colors, just like swatches on Illustrator, Photoshops, and all. But that basically they perform the same function, you know. And maybe you want to change it to red. You click on red, automatically it changes it. Also, the plus button next to the array of colors, gives you access to using different colors. Here you can choose. You see the little round circle there. You can it indicates wherever the color your color is. Whatever color you want to pick, all you just use is called the eyedropper tool. You just click on it and it takes you to the particular color you want to use. Maybe you want to use this, it takes you there. And when you click OK, you find that your picture, your text has automatically changed to the color you use your eyedropper to access. Now, next to the color button is the text button. This text button basically gives you the advantage of importing materials into your text, assuming the colors available are not what you want to use for your text, and you want to import a different color or something else, a different color material from your phone. All you just need to do is to click on the sign there, which shows you the gallery sign, and you can go to maybe in this instance, let's go and check for color. Where do I have color on this? Okay, no, we don't have a collage available. Let's say, okay, let's go to my office, and here we can find different okay, let's go to here we have color. Maybe we want to pick this as our main color for the text. All we just need to do, maybe we want to pick a particular side for our text in this on this material. We just highlight it the way we want, and we click the mark sign, which is okay. And you see our text automatically changes to that color material that we imported. So you see, you can use this to add pictures, maybe a picture into your text, masking a picture into your text for your designs. All right. Let's go back. Let's go back to our tutorial. Okay. So next to the texture button is the opacity. The opacity basically increases the visibility of the text. Either you want to reduce it, you go to the left, or you increase it also. Now, there are some texts during design which may have shadow. Maybe you want the opacity tool to affect the shadow. You click on enable. It means that when you drop down the opacity value, your shadow tool drops. And when you increases it, your shadow increases. That is what it does. Next to the opacity is the rotate button. With this button, you can rotate the angle of your text by giving it value. So if you want to increase the value, you see it turns depending on the degree of the angle you want your text you want to assign to your text. Basically, that is what the rotate button does. It turns your text however you want it. And then next to the rotate button is the masking, which we are going to learn more about when we start our designing. Now, the font button gives your text whatever kind of fonts you want to use. As you can see, our text is on the default mode, which is the basic font text for the basic font for text imputed into our design. So assuming you want to give your text a font you have in mind, you can go through the list of the fonts and select the font by clicking on it. Let's say we want to use Nevis on this list of fonts, and we click on Nevis. Automatically, it has changed our text into the Nevis font design. Now you can see it is more bolder and stylish somehow. Next to it is the style button, which if you click, we either make maybe you want to italize your text, you can click on the I button. You want to underline your text, you click on the U button. You want to mark out you take it back to how it was before, you click on the text cancel button. If you want to make your text bolder, you click on the bold button. That's how it is. Now understand that It is not all fonts that accept the bold effects on them, because some fonts comes automatically in bold styles. So all you just have to do, if it's already a bold text, maybe it's a tiny text, a tiny font that you're using, and then you click on bold to make it bold. That is basically what the style button does. Now we have the curve button that will bend and align your text according. Probably you want to impute your text into a circle and you want them to align according to the shape of the circle. This is how you justify it, by adding value to it depending on how you want to bend them, bend your text. So however you want to do it, you do it with this curve button. Next is maybe probably you want your text to have a background. You can just add it with the background button by enabling it. Once you enable it, you can see it there. Now, probably you want to give your background, the background to your text, a particular color. You can justify that by clicking on color, and you see the colors are out. Maybe we want to give this text the yellow background to it. We can add it. You see, now there is the left right padding. We have already discussed padding, but in this case the paddings only function work on the background. Maybe you want the colors to start exactly where your text starts from, or probably you want them to have a little space to either side. That is what you do. You can increase it, you can add the padding to left, right, top, or bottom, as depending on what you want to do with it. Next to the background button is the align button. Now, let's say you have multiple text, paragraphs lined up here, 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 and you want to align them. All you simply need to do is to use the align button. Maybe you want to align them to the center, maybe you want to align them to the left or to the right. This is how you do it with the align button. You can see it justifies it. To justify it, it makes every state to start irrespective of the spaces in between them. Next to the align button is the spacing button. Maybe we want to increase the space in between each text, each alphabet. We can do that with the spacing. You see, it is increasing, or probably we want to reduce the spacing. We can do that as well here. Next to the spacing button is the line spacing. Let's say you have a paragraph and you want each line to have more space between them. You can do that by increasing the value. You can see even the highlight is moving. Let's say you have more text, that is going to be the value of the space in between the lines there. That is what the line button does. Next is the stroke. Let's say you want to give your text an additional padding around it. You can do that by enabling the graphic. You see, immediately we did it, it changes to it. We can highlight our stroke color by maybe changing it, and you see around our text color, which is the blue, you can now see that there is a yellow design, a yellow stroke around them. That yellow color marks the stroke around your text. Let's say you want to increase the width of your stroke. You can increase them here. By increasing them, you see, it becomes more. Isn't that beautiful? You can reduce it, by taking it to the negative side as well. That is what the stroke does. Next is shadow. Wonderful. Let's say you want to give shadows to your text, and you want the shadows, how you have an idea of how you want your shadow to be inclined on your text. You can do this with this shadow button by enabling it. Once you enable it, you can see there is a shadow at the background of the text. This shadow, you can increase the opacity and you can reduce the opacity. We all know that the opacity gives it more visibility or not, depending on the value you want to add to it. You can also blur your shadow by, you see, increasing the radius, or by reducing the radius down to 0. You will not have any shadow anymore. So that is very. Also, you might be able, probably you want to give out glow. The more you use this shadow function, you just use it, play around with it, and you'll get an idea of what it does. Next to the shadow is the inner shadow. This has to do with text that have that maybe probably you want to give them inner shadow. It's the shadow is going to be inside the text. It's not going to be at the background of the text like the shadow, what the shadow button does. So probably you want to give it, you see, the shadow has covered it, and maybe our shadow is black, so it has already given it. So let's say, for instance, our shadow is yellow. Okay, is going to appear inside the text. Now you can see that the shadow is in the text. It's not outside the text. That is what the inner shadow does. Now the emboss is the one you use to create your text into 3D designs, you know, increasing the intensity. It's an advanced setting. You can use it however you like. Maybe you want to give it ambient light, you want to specify this emboss works more with shapes, and other designs, images rather than text. But you can as well, there's a way you can manipulate it with text. Next is the perspective. Maybe you want some text to be higher and you want some text to be lower, depending on what you want to do. You can do this with the perspective button by enabling it. Once you enable it, you can now do whatever you want to do. You see what is happening here, right? You can do whatever you want to do, however you want to bend your text, to apply to your design. You can do that. Isn't that beautiful? We all can see what is happening here. See, one side is higher and one side, it looks like you're looking at it from one corner, one particular perspective, one point to another, from a distance where you see it's smaller in the distance and bigger as it comes closer to your visibility, your line of visibility sight. Now, that is what you do. That is what you do with the perspective button. Now, next to it is the 3D. Maybe you want to increase, you want to stylize your text. You can do that. You see, maybe you want to turn it a bit, up and down. You do it that with the X axis. And if you want to turn it at the corners, you can do that here also. Once you use it, the more you use it, the more it's going to be better, depending on what you want to use it with, how you want to use it. Next is the 3D text. Once this is enabled, it gives your text a design. It gives your text a design. You can always add depth to it by increasing depth, or you maybe by changing the text color, depending on what you want to do with your text. Here you see the depth. Once there is depth, it makes your text. It depends on how you increase your text. We can see it at the background. It's going to be more visible when we start our design. Likewise, the 3D shadow applies shadow in 3D formats. And also, the last on the list is the reflection button, which gives your text, when enabled, a reflection. Like, maybe your text makes it look like your text is placed on a mirror or on a shiny top. You can always use this. Maybe you want it. You can also adjust the offset. Depends on the values you add to it. That is how it works. Maybe you want it to be closer or you want it to be farther. You can always do that with the vertical offset option of the reflection button. Now that is it with the text. The sticker, the current dates, just add dates to your design. You can always use it to add dates to the current date. Assuming you want to add dates to your design, you can use that to add dates to your design. Next is the sticker. This sticker gives you emojis. On the pro version of Pixellab, you have emoji options where you can add emojis. It has stickers, like if you want to add hi to your text, you see, hi, stylize, hi, I am a graphic designer. You can always add that to your text. Next is the from gallery option. This button gives you access to materials in your phone. Probably you want to import a particular material into your text. You use the gallery button to do that. Let's say you want to import this into your phone and you have adjusted it to the value you want. You can always attach it to your font. You see how it looks? This is how you can use this into your text. Next, let's remove all that so that we can have access to our tutorial. Next is the draw button. With this draw button, let's say you want to add a particular shape into your, or you want to draw something into uh, your design, you can use the draw option, the draw button. But this needs a lot of practice. In due time, as you are practicing your designs, you'll learn more about the draw button. You can draw maybe whatever you want to draw. Maybe you want to draw an emoji. You can do that here, here, maybe here, like this. Whatever you want to do with it. That is what you can do. That is all about the project button. Next is the save button. You can save and it has two options in it. You can save your designs, your works, your projects as editable files, which you can always come back to, click on it, and you continue working on it. Or you can save it as a finished job into your gallery, your phone gallery, by clicking on the save as image option. The next is the share button, which gives you quick access, give you access to share your works or your projects directly into the directly on social media platforms. And also it is an alternative to the save button. You can as well use it. That gives you two options here. You can see the save to gallery and you can see the share. It also gives you options of qualities, dimensions you want, how you want your work to be saved, either as JPG, normal picture or image format, or PNG, those attributes, that images without background, probably like logos. The finished product of logos cannot come with background. You can find that under this. You see the JPG, no transparency, and the PNG, which is always transparent. That is what you do with the share button. Next is the code sign, which is a button that give you access to codes, pre-made codes, pre-made code templates, uh, pre-made code templates on the Pixellab platform. You can use these codes if you want. Probably you find something you want. You can use them for maybe you're creating motivational projects or inspirational designs. You can always integrate them into your design. That is how you accept them there. Now, the three signs button. While the three signs menu tool can be used to access other functions on Pixellab, and also you can use it to learn more about Pixellab, how to open PLP files. Those are editable files that you save with the save button. How to remove, add other things you can do with Pixellab. You can access them with the menu button. Now, next, when now the next down on the second row, we have the back sign or the undo button, which is basically used to probably you delete something you do, or you made an error while you're working on your design and you want to go back to a previous you want to correct these errors, and you want to go back to a previous stage in your design. You can use the undo button. It's basically the same thing on all systems. The next sign is the zoom sign, which has the search sign with a plus in the middle. You can use this to zoom in and out of your design accordingly to what you want. Probably you want to shape a part of the text and you want to see what exactly you're doing. You can use it to increase, and when you're done, you can reduce it back to the normal size that you want your text to appear. Next to the zoom sign is the grid sign. Probably you have text and you want to align them in a particular line format. You can use this grid sign to do all that. That is what the grid sign does. And then the last on that row is the layer button. Now, The layer tool is a very important tool in designing, and Pixellab is built on the layering principle. The concept is whatever you bring into your design must have its own layer, be it text, images, anything, whatever you impute into your design, it comes in a layer. Now, this layer has options, has functionalities. Now, you see our text is movable. First option on the layer is that you can, the padlock sign, the key sign is you can, once you click on it, your text is locked in place. It cannot be moved. It cannot. Sometimes when you're making your designs, you probably have aligned your text or your images to a particular, by positioning them, in a particular way you want. Then unfortunately, probably while you're walking, you mistakenly move them out of alignment and you want them to be where exactly you place them. You can always hit on the key button. You can to lock them in place. Next is the editable button. On the editable button has an array of options where you can edit your text, like the add text button, and also you can copy. There's a copy uh, a button which would duplicate the exact text that you highlight and you want to highlight. There's the text, the TT sign, which increases the size of your text. There's the rotate button. There's the centralize button or the relative positioning button. And there is also color, the move to background and move to the front tools also are on that list. We'll get to learn more about them when we start our design. So on this, at the top part of the screen, we are done with those buttons, those tools and their functionality. Now we come down here. So when we come down here, at the bottom part of the screen, there is the 3 circle sign, which leads you to your project. On this, it shows you default layers, templates on Pixellab that you can use, assuming you want your background to be stylish. On the Pro version, you can only find this on the Pro version of Pixellab. I am going to give you a link later on in the course that you can use to download the Pro version of Pixellab. It is payable, but you're going to get it for free. You can see the My Project. That is where you save projects that you have already done. You want to go back to them and edit them. You can see them all on the My Project file button. While the templates, you can scroll through them and see different templates that is available. Next to it is the A sign button, which is the text button. It gives you access to the text, like I've earlier explained, and also it gives you access to quotes. Next to it is the pentagon button, which is at the center. This gives you access to stickers, to importing to the import button, which you can use to import files, images, colors, whatever you want to import into your design. You also have the draw tool. This is the actual button that houses all these tools and functionalities. You have the shape button, the bezier tool, the arrow tool. You can use this arrow tool to add arrows to your design, assuming you need arrows. And there's an array of options of the different type of arrows that you may pick from. Next to this pentagon tool is the double square sign, which gives you access to color, to the background, whatever you want to do to the background of your design. Let's say you want to change the background of this design from white to yellow. You can click, if you select it among the color, you can access it on this array with this button, the double square. It has everything to do with, or maybe you don't want to even add, you want your text to be in PNG format, no background. All you just need to do is to click on the transparent option and there you have it. You can size your images also on this array by You know, you have a different type. Maybe you want to create a square shape image. Maybe you want to create a profile pictures. There are different, maybe YouTube banner, Facebook cover, thumbnails, Twitter head sizes, whatever you want to do, you can access them with the image size. Next to it is the crop. Assuming your text is croppable. Let's unlock it here. Maybe your text is croppable and you want to add text. This crop does not work with text. It works with images. When we go into our properly into our designing, you will find the functions. You will see how it's just basically the way you crop your pictures however you want, into whatever sizes you want them. Next is the image. Assuming you want to add images to your background, you know, from the available templates on Pixellab, you can go through the options and you'll see them. Remember, what you download from the Google Play Store is the free version of Pixellab. Okay, so the templates you'll see there is quite different from the one on the Pro version. I am using the Pro version, so it gives you an idea of what I'm saying. Yes. So let's take our background to the white color where it was before. Yes. Now, if you want to import images into your, sorry, we're done with images. If you want to import images, whatever material from your gallery, you can find the option next to image, which is the from gallery. It means you are importing that material from the gallery. I've already explained that. And then the from camera gives you the option of taking the picture, okay, of taking your picture directly from your phone camera and then imputing it into your into your design. Now, next, the last on the list is the the adjustment sign button that gives you access to adjusting your design. Maybe you want to increase the brightness, of the background. You want to increase the brightness of the background, you can always do that with this button. You want to increase the contrast of your background, you can always do that, assuming if it's a color, but it doesn't work on white. It doesn't function on white and black backgrounds. You have your hue, your saturation, just like how you edit your photos. You can this is what you do with this button. So that is it. In summary, Pixellab is an amazing app. It is all engaging for designing, and I tell you, you cannot begin to imagine the magic you can perform with it on your phone. Don't worry, I am going to hold your hand and walk you through all the processes of creating amazing designs and turning you into a professional graphic designer with this app in the course of this tutorial. So see you in the next video. Thank you.